they're having their, brunch. They're, walking their dogs, but they're really being ageist.
Yeah.
By having brunch.
What's fascinating is that you made this observation as a man, and you're like, "Oh God, ageism!
Ageism is the
must
number
be so
one,
hard for men.
It's the number one issue facing America right now. It's why I don't think my guy Donald Trump gets a fair shake. He's old. And I think if people would just get past his age and look at his ideas,
they would see some real garbage.
They'd see true value of Trump and by extension, MAGA.
If you're just joining us, we are here today talking about aging, death, skincare.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So last week, 2 weeks ago, we were trying to figure out what we should do for the show, and we had a bunch of different ideas, and one was like some really nerdy stuff, like use a palm pre for a week, which we're gonna do. One of them is like go to Scientology, become a Scientologist,
which I should have done since I was in LA.
You had the perfect opportunity, and you blew it. But then Ryan came up, or somebody came up with this idea of like,
it was me. Credit me.
Ryan, who's a brilliant guy, and I got to tell you, really just a super intelligent, creative person, came up with this idea that we should do a Korean skincare routine for a week. Mm-hmm. And it just happened to coincide with my birthday week. And also, ironically, happened to coincide with the sickest I've ever been in recent memory. Like, totally sidelined, bent over.
But it's actually kind of a good thing,
crawling along the floor.
It's a good thing, though, because I also was like, I was traveling in LA for work, and I was sleeping 3 hours a night on a cot. And it was terrible flying, but it was a stress test for the skincare stuff to see, does it work under pressure?
Me. I was just like falling apart as a human being.
Can you replace my natural glow?
I still have this like cough, which
horribly unnatural glow. If you want to call in and talk to us about skincare, the number is 202-688-1697.
Yeah.
But
so let me jog. I just want to say to the audience, and I'm going to jog your memory a little bit on the new tomorrow. The concept here is that I actually try to do something meaningful that I've either wanted to do, talked about doing, thought about doing, promised myself I would do. That we actually, like, these shows are not just like, hey, I'm just going to randomly talk about whatever, but we're going to specifically talk about something and let people call in and talk about it with us. And so this week I think it is like skincare, but that's just like a little.
That's the tip of the iceberg.
That's like the epidermis. If you go beneath to the sebaceous glands, what you would find.
You really want to stimulate growth.
Yeah, what you would find is what we're actually talking about is like aging and taking care of yourself. And like, if as a person who is not, I don't think I've done anything to take care of myself. I've actually tried to do some things recently that were. It's funny too because I've been so sick, but I've tried to do some things recently that were like a little bit more cognizant of the fact that I'm aging.
Yeah.
And, my body's not going to be in this pristine condition forever.
Listen, it's like a car. Prevent the damage. Don't try to fix your car while you're still driving it.
I don't know. That's not a saying anybody's ever said.
I just did.
That's not a thing that people talk
about. Put it
on
Instagram.
Nobody talks about fixing their car while they're driving it. That's unheard of. But so here's the deal. So I got a bunch of skincare stuff, but I got this little travel set.
Little kit.
From the Face Shop. Are we seeing this? Are we getting this? Getting that? Okay, there it is. And there's, let me tell you, so I didn't bring the face wash. There's like a foaming face wash.
Heaven grade ginseng.
Yeah, then there's a heaven grade ginseng is the kind of line here. So we've got toner, which you put on with a little, put that right there. You put on the toner with a little cotton ball or a cotton, whatever the flat ones are called. I don't know. Do they have a name?
What are
they called?
A cotton pad. A makeup remover wipe. Yeah.
Then I have this emulsion. I don't know what it is. It's an emulsion, some kind of liquid.
Wait, it's written in Korean, so it's not.
And then there's a serum. Here's the serum right here. There's an eye cream, which I didn't bring because all I had was samples of the eye cream. No, I'm just trying it out for a week. I don't know that I'm going to commit to a lifelong.
To an eye cream.
And then there's this little guy here, which is this moisturizer. The moisturizer is cool. It's glue-like. You just get a look in there. Can we just get a?
Yeah, it's like a putty. Like it looks kind of like peanut butter.
It's like peanut butter.
Yeah.
So I mean, here's the interesting thing. I have been. I'm going to get a little bit personal right now. I killed 4 people. No. I raped and killed 4 people. No, I didn't do that. I had bad acne when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I was like a full-on pizza face. I was like what is the deadly Accutane?
Accutane.
I took Accutane. Accutane's like
that's the stuff that makes you want to kill yourself, but you look a little better.
Maybe I've talked about this in the podcast, but like literally on the Accutane container, it's like every pill has a picture of a pregnant woman with a cross through it, with the "don't do this" through it. It's apparently if you're taking Accutane and you get pregnant, you instantly have some kind of mutated monster baby that like destroys.
And you jumped into this with 2 feet. You were like, "Great, mutated monster baby sounds better than Zeds."
I was like, anything is better than looking like a disgusting piece of shit. But so I had bad skin when I was a kid, and I got very sensitive about like what I would do with my skin. Like, I mean, first off, I'm not a handsome person. I mean, I think it's obvious. I'm like if a werewolf and a Dracula had sex and then they had a baby, this is what would happen. I'm not saying
you're being a little
saying my parents are a
being a
werewolf.
little body dysmorphic.
I'm not saying my parents are a werewolf and a Dracula, but I'm just saying that I'm like a hideous visage.
Sure.
Anyhow, so I got
humbleness unlocked.
Yeah. But I got very like worried about what I would and wouldn't put on my face. Like,
yeah.
And so I got into this routine of like just literally at night what I do is I have this like great investment, by the way. I bought like a 25 pack of like white washcloths just as like and I'll just get them hot water.
That's what they say to do, and then wash it.
The French, wipe it, throw it in the laundry basket, And so I've done that for a long time, and I've always been like very nervous about putting shit on my face at night. Like I don't want to put a bunch of moisturizer and cleansers. This is great stuff. This is great material. This is what everybody wants to hear from me. So, but actually, like just doing this routine was like, I was kind of like surprised to discover that I could put a bunch of like moisturizer and serum and eye cream or whatever, and it would not completely tank this amazing complexion.
No, I think it's a science like anything else, and I think it's interesting that especially I've taken care of my skin for a long time because I'm a performer, and it's like part of the investment.
Obviously,
I mean, I am. I'm a comedian, and I get seen.
I think everybody knows that.
And when you have a zit, all you think about is whenever you're anywhere, you're like, can people see this?
So I'd be thinking, how can I turn this into a bit?
No.
How can the zit be a bit? I'm not trying to rhyme, but
yeah, I guess it would humanize you to be like, look at this zit. Anyway, folks, dick joke.
Oh, really? Do you do a lot of dick material?
No, I actually don't.
Okay, well, I don't know where they came from.
Well, I've always been worried about it, but it is a chemistry like anything else, and I think it's I felt weird about it, and it was weirdly stigmatized for men to worry about their skincare. But I have developed over time a complicated skincare situation where
these are your products here.
Yeah, these are okay. So I've got my regular products that I use, and then the Korean products that I tried out. I
got a little camera here. I don't know if it's working, but
oh yeah, you can see. This is just a sampling. This is only some of. This is maybe a third of.
This guy's he's a very sick person.
I use a lot of eyedropper products.
I'm the one with body dysmorphia. Okay, look at this stuff.
But listen. I've always had tough skin, and everyone in my family ages very quickly skin-wise.
This is my best camera work. This is like,
and I worry about it
right here. Look at that. That's great. It's amazing what can be done. Oh shit, there's an earthquake. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Josh got a toy, and you can see what comes of that.
I'm fucking dying over here. Go ahead.
But no, you look better, you're healthier, you feel good when you take care of yourself. It's like exercising.
Yeah, that's true. Here's the thing that was really surprising to me about this skincare plan that we went on. By the way, I should say it's hot as fuck in this room right now. Like,
so if we have a glow, it's either the collagen.
If we seem to be sweating, it has nothing to do with these wonderful Korean skincare products. But it takes forever to deal with this routine.
It's a long routine.
I had like 5 steps, and it was like, really? I'm going to do that? I got to go through all of this?
Listen, and when I do my like regular skincare, it doesn't feel very long because I'm using like Retin-A from the dermatologist. I wash my face.
Yeah.
I put like an oil on, and that's kind of it.
So what is it? Go ahead.
But with this, it was like I wasn't sure why I was washing my face 3 times or like putting a mist on. Like wasn't sure what all of that was about.
So you have how many steps there?
So my total plan was about 12 steps, and that was crazy, especially traveling. What's step 1?
All
right. Step 1 is you cleanse. You want to wash off what you have from the day. So you would do an oil cleanse to take off whatever product is there. Then you do a water-based cleanser because that apparently takes off germs. And then you go, it's like then you're going to water products, essences, Josh is trying to get air in the room.
Why are you turning the camera on me? Just focus on Ryan. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here.
I'll tell you when he stops doing that. Then you go to like oil products. Like you go from like thin to thick. Sheet masks. There was a lot involved. And I have to say, when you're traveling and it's the end of the day and you've been in Disneyland, it's when you need it the most and you just want to lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
But you know what? When it's all done, you feel like you got chores done. Like you feel productive.
So while I was doing this, I became ill. I got very sick. I'm still sick, but I finished my antibiotics today. And I was like, couldn't talk, couldn't breathe. I was like coughing up horrible things.
But you looked great.
Well, it was it was really like the last thing I wanted to do was to apply any of this fucking skincare bullshit. Yeah. And it didn't make me feel any better. But
I will say you look glowy.
Do I?
Yeah.
I can't tell. The other thing I've been doing is I've been dieting aggressively.
Well, we have a caller. We have a caller here, Mark from NYC, wants to talk about.
All right, Mark, you want to talk? We should say we're taking calls 202-688-1697. But Mark, go ahead. What's happening?
Josh, you look very shiny.
You're saying I look bad?
No, you look great.
But shiny is usually associated with
dewy or shiny,
or like glowing. Am I glowing or like sweating?
It's a beautiful glow. I see you on the TV. It's glow.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Got that pregnancy glow.
I feel like I'm just mostly sweating, but that's nice. All right, Mark, is that all you had to say, or is there anything else you'd like to add to this conversation?
No, I almost like opened a company, like a store selling natural green beauty items, and so I switched myself, and I noticed my skin went crazy, like happy, but it wasn't until I changed what I was eating did I really get like benefits from it. So I was wondering if.
Tell me about that. I want to. What did you change? How did you change your diet?
Well, originally I was eating like fried food only and like anything you buy at the gas station.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah,
you just described
maybe don't.
The single worst diet. Okay, so you're eating exclusively fried food, and then you switched to what?
But now, then I went like homemade food. And that started getting better. But now, like, I don't eat meat at all.
Yeah.
I don't do dairy.
Yeah.
And especially dairy. Dairy's
the devil. No one wants to talk about it.
Hormones and antibiotics.
No one wants to talk about the truth, which is cows are killing everybody on this planet.
I just ate a cheese sandwich.
And we need to stop them. Cheese is good.
I was a cow.
I mean, it's
I'll make you cheese. I'll make you some cheese. Just from that.
So you cut all that stuff out.
So you're not eating. What do you eat? Vegan cheese?
I homemade mostly, but yes, vegan cheese.
Okay, all right, that's intense. And you feel better?
But from there, my skin went like my hair isn't like falling out anymore.
Was your hair falling out?
Nice improvement.
I don't know. It's been receding. It's natural, right?
You're saying you were able. Do you feel like actually you were able to reverse hair loss by changing your diet?
I wouldn't say hair loss. My hair is thick.
Thicker hair, shiner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get behind that. I think a lot of people are worried about like, what's up with my hair? How much does it actually matter what you eat? I don't know, but I do feel like
I think it's definitely got to be.
Yeah.
Because it's something like
fried food can't be good for hair.
No.
Feels like it just a.
Well, you eat 3 times a day.
You are what you eat.
It has
isn't
to be
just
something, right?
I guess. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, that's right. You're a grilled cheese sandwich. That's all you are. You just walk it around, a grilled cheese sandwich with legs and arms and glasses, baby. I don't know if you wear glasses or not. But, Mark, this is really interesting. I think this is like great insight. I actually do feel that changing my diet and eating less, just eating and not eating I was one of those eaters where I would just get so fucking hungry and I would just eat like a maniac and feel terrible. I only had
Let me say, you didn't want to do this experiment, but I switched to Soylent for 2 meals a day.
No, I'm not going there.
And I feel completely different. I had one day where I kind of fell apart, and Winton, who works here, kind of had to push me along. But other than that, I feel so much better because I think what I was craving was like nutrients I wasn't getting. So I was just eating like crap all day, trying to fill like that scratch that itch that I just couldn't.
Yeah, I've also found that, and Mark, maybe you think this is true, Ryan, maybe you agree, but like being really full is not a good, like fried food and fatty food, like really makes you feel not good. Like I don't feel like bodies are supposed to feel that way. I think we've just created like a whole world of shit to eat that is basically, if you eat it in moderation, you're probably fine, but the way we eat it, the way I was eating it, I don't think there was any kind of moderation. Like I just jam on
it's like
bag
some
of
of these
chips.
foods are made to just hack your brain, not to actually like do anything for you.
Yeah, Mark, what was that?
It's a screw dairy.
You're really hitting the dairy. Mark, I just want to say before, and
I'm going to lie to you.
I think we have to move on to another caller, but I just before we let you go, hold on one second. Before we let you go, I just want to know, are you paid by any anti-dairy interests? Because I'm hearing a lot of very serious anti-dairy sentiment from you. I just want to be clear. There's no ethical gray area that you're in.
I like to be able to breathe. I like smooth skin. Okay. I don't feel that I'm a baby cow.
Okay, I'm not in denial of you being funded by anti-dairy interests, but
big Daya.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I need to formally say it?
No, yeah, I think you do.
Can I challenge you to do your same test you did last week, but do it with eating better and see if your skin gets nicer?
I'm already eating better.
Though it probably takes 3 weeks.
I eat like
There you go.
Well, I haven't had a lot of dairy lately. Maybe that's so. If you were planning on sponsoring tomorrow,
you'd be surprised how many boxes you pick up that have.
Okay, all right, we get it.
Mark, we get it. Thank you,
Mark. We get it. You don't like dairy, okay? Message received.
I'm crazy. I know.
Message received loud and clear. Mark, thank you very much. Wait. Oh, who knows? He was about to say something amazing. He was about to be like, by the way, I've seen the future, and here's how we can,
and it's a dairy free.
Here's how we can stop Trump. Mark, are you still there?
No, Mark's gone.
Is he gone?
Listen,
all of this. We never need to know how to stop Trump now.
All of this comes down to we're hurtling towards a dystopic future. We're all getting older. What are we doing to keep up with it? If you have any tips besides taking care of your skin, call into 202-688.
Yeah, do you have any tips that are dairy related?
Please.
If you have a strong feeling about dairy, pro or con, like we'd love to hear about it. But
so,
go ahead.
I was doing all these like little serums. So I went to The Ordinary, which is a brand that does like scientifically based skincare.
Is it Korean?
No, it's not Korean.
Why am I talking to you? What is the point of this? I did all Korean. My understanding is the Koreans have the best skincare.
They do, but listen, these were each like $5.
Some shit from Zurich or
these were each $5 from the UK.
Ugh, please, you're talking about British skincare.
They need it more than anyone. They need it more than anyone.
They don't get a lot of sun.
But The Ordinary is this little brand that makes like these little like niacinamide. I found is really good.
Are you sponsored by?
No, I just really like it. If they want to send me free stuff, I'll chill.
Okay.
And then I have rosehip oil.
I'd like to be clear that we're not sponsored by whatever this brand is that Ryan's talking about. And
Big Rose.
He's on his own if he wants to get a sponsorship from The Ordinary. That's ethically an area that I'm not going to cross into. I can tell you I'm not sponsored by...
Can you read it?
The Face Shop. The Face Shop, which is the brand that I use.
I wonder, do we know why South Korea has become so good at anti-aging, skincare, all of this stuff?
Well, they have very fast internet there.
True.
I can tell you that. So they're all connected, you know.
They've got so much.
They're sharing.
So many makeup gurus.
Tips. No, I mean, you think about how long it takes to get a makeup tip onto the internet in America. In South Korea, it's just like boom, boom, boom.
They just go on there and Jeffree Star's like blah 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 blah.
I mean, there's I'm sure Samsung is doing a lot of innovation in the skincare. I mean, Samsung actually makes like 1 billion things.
New skin.
No, they probably have a Galaxy S skin or whatever, you know, which is something you can.
Which is good until it explodes.
Come on, I mean, have we not moved past the Samsung exploding jokes?
But it's true that South Korea has the best skincare products, and it's fun. It's a weird thing to be known for.
Maybe the people in South Korea are just very vain.
Maybe.
And
but what does it say about America that our best exports are blockbuster movies?
Is that our best export?
Narcissism.
What about freedom? You don't think freedom's a good export? You don't think fucking democracy?
You don't think the Trump Hotel?
Have you seen the flag, American flag? You don't think that's a great export? The flag of freedom waving over all countries.
No, well, here's the thing. I bought a bunch of the Korean products, but it's hard to know. These brands from the UK or the US tell you
in English. I could read these.
No, but they also just tell you scientifically. They're like, this is argireline and this is what it's for, or this is.
I like the mystery. I like that. One of the things I like about this is
you don't know what goes into it.
I mean, it's like the serum. You know, here's the emulsion, regenerating emulsion. Heaven grade ginseng. It sounds like pretty high quality ginseng. That's at the top of the list. Heaven is like
way up there.
It's up.
Like of the things you can.
When you think about top shelf, Heaven is above it. And then it's like, well, it's a regenerating emulsion.
But using it,
I don't even know what those two words mean together.
Do you feel like it's anti-aging, or you feel like it's just making you look a little better?
I don't know. I feel like it made my skin feel moist.
moist
in a way that I'm not used to my skin feeling, and it didn't make me break out. And I feel like that's a big win. Like that's a epic win for these guys.
Yeah.
For the
one of these that I got is
the Face Shop, which is like their logo looks a little bit like the Body Shop. Can I get this up? Sorry, let me just get this going here.
See, Josh has a new camera toy that he can point at things.
Can we get that up on the screen or no? You can't do it?
And that's the end of it. Now the show is this tiny camera.
Oh, connection interrupted. Great technology. Apple, once again, a failure from America, from the world's most valuable company. Anyhow, the Face Shop has a logo that looks a lot like the Body Shop. Do you agree?
Yeah, it does. It kind of does.
It's not going to That's not going to work.
Come on, we can
just
get it.
see your blurry hands here.
No, all right.
Anyhow, you can call us at 202-688-1697.
Talk to us about aging.
Yeah, I want to talk about aging. I also want to talk about turning.
So tell me about aging. What are you so concerned about? Yeah. Doesn't it just get better and better? I think I heard Rose McGowan say it just gets better and better.
All actresses and actors love to talk about how great aging is because it's like, what else are they going to say? Like, I hate this. Why is this happening?
I feel like there's got to be.
I don't feel.
Madonna seems pretty clear that she hates it.
She's definitely fighting nature.
She's using something stronger than rose hip oil.
Yeah.
The South Koreans could learn from Madonna.
Yeah. They don't have, they're not like to sacrifice anybody, but Madonna can afford to sacrifice people.
Well, the Kabbalah Center is like 3 blocks over. So.
I know. So, like, I don't feel an age. I know people say this shit, but like.
You feel the age you've always.
I don't know. When I was young, I felt like I didn't fit in with young people. I always hung out with like older people because it was weird. And all the people I know now are considerably younger than me, and all the people I work with are considerably younger than me, and for the most part. And I don't know, like, I think age is a really stupid concept that people spend a lot of time thinking about. I had to look at my birthday was extremely like nothing. I was so sick.
You weren't stressed?
I was so sick. I couldn't be stressed, and also like. It's better if a birthday is nothing. Like, it's better if like people don't make a big deal about your birthday. I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, what does it even mean?
I like a lowered expectation. I always, if I expect my birthday to be a really cool big deal, I'm like, oh my God, can't wait. It's going to be, and then it's nothing. It's a disappointment. And you just feel older.
It's like New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is always bad.
This year I felt like I was turning 28, which please don't make comments about how that's very young because it was a crisis for me.
Is that how old you are?
Yes.
Oh.
I was turning 28.
I thought you were a lot older than that.
You thought I was younger?
Younger
you want to check my ID?
Sorry,
no, I was turning 28, and the reason I got upset was because I was like, well, by the time I was 30, I wanted to have all this stuff done.
Yeah.
And then I realized, you know what? I'm expecting to be really upset for this birthday and blah, 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 blah. And then my birthday ended up being a pleasant surprise because I realized, if anything, this is 2 years to get done that stuff or just not worry about it. That age is kind of just a number.
Yeah, they say that, and yet I'm kept out of so many
But do you feel like there's
now.
anything you can't do now?
Well, I can't be on a 30 under 30 list, for instance. That's not going to happen.
Well, bless. That might be the best case scenario.
I think I've been on some, so I feel like I got it covered. I was also on
really?
I was also on some 40 under 40, so
humbleness unachieved.
No, I actually don't know if I was at a 30, but like no,
I don't know.
The thing that's most annoying about aging is like
I remember turning 26 and thinking like my back doesn't work the way that it did before, and that stuff is the stuff that you're like I didn't even appreciate. I had no idea that the spin class could be hard.
Well, like I'm physically in very poor shape and have been since I was a teenager because I don't like to walk, I don't like to move too much. I love sitting.
That's good.
I find that stuff fairly annoying. My knees have been bad since I was like 17. I feel like
I've had terrible ankles.
I feel like I've always been like, every time I get up from like kneeling down, I'm like, oh, like I feel like I'm 75 years old. So there hasn't been a big change there. There's significant gray in my hair.
But are you someone who's going to try to fight it and like cover up the gray and hide it?
The gray? No. I have gray in my beard like right here.
But men look better when they're a little bit older.
No, but I have this weird gray where it's like, it's just gray right here, and it makes it look like my beard ends because I'm really fucking pale. So I'm just like annoyed because it looks like this weird thing where I have some kind of like Backstreet Boys like do you know what I'm talking about? Like
you've got like the
it's like I have a beard here,
like
but
it's
you
an
can't
affectation.
See it. It's like there's something here, but it's like blending. Anyhow, I don't know. This guy John's talking to me about what camera to look at, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is, you want me to use this?
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I'm not getting that.
We gotta cool it.
Like a huge zit down here, oozing zit.
I do feel like I'm going to be the person that probably covers up the gray.
No, look, I don't. Who fucking cares? Seriously.
But
here's
the
most annoying thing about aging. Can I tell you?
Make me feel better.
The most annoying thing about aging is the thing I mentioned, where the dad thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, like if I'm like, this is fucking stupid. People are like, you're just old, and it's like, no, I'm just smart. Like, this is bad. So, like, I'm like, oh, the Avengers movies are terrible. They're like, thanks, Dad. It's like, no, they're bad movies. Like,
I feel like a lot of people, now that I'm reaching a slightly different
fucking
demographic.
ageism out there. Let me tell you. A lot of just rampant, blatant, rude ageism.
I feel like now that I'm in a different...
From these millennials on their hoverboards and with their Kanye glasses.
Well, I read an article the other day that was like, millennials are over. They're nothing. Nobody cares about them. Nobody's marketing to them anymore. Millennials done. And I was like, oh no. But I found that I get into a different demographic. People are coming to me with lots of advice about like, well, in this stage of your life. And that kind of worries me a little bit.
I don't think millennials are a thing.
You don't think that's a thing?
I think it's a bullshit term made up by marketing people.
But I mean, like, we grew up with the internet. And I think that changes how you think about things.
Congratulations.
I don't know. American Horror Story had a very interesting thing about a generational difference. What I did think was a cool observation, which was that my generation, you would think we would value knowledge and information, but in fact we don't because it's so cheap and easy to come by that we don't care if people are smart because we could Google the answer before they could give it to us.
It's pretty clear.
So we just look for charisma.
It's pretty clear that the younger generations don't care if people are smart.
Speaking of smart people, we have Travis from Cincinnati here who has some product recommendations.
I think Travis was on last episode. Travis, are you a repeat caller?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Oh, we love you, Travis.
Travis, lay it on us. What do you got?
All right. Yeah, so I kind of got into some skincare products a few years ago, and I found a site. It's called Primazon. Have you ever heard of that?
Is this a fucking ad, Travis?
Primazon?
Are you
No.
advertising for Primazon? No. It sounds like a very weird pyramid scheme.
I'm going to go to this website right now.
It also sounds like something from Black Mirror.
No.
It's like Primazon, be young again.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about Primazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it basically is a site that just like says what are the absolute highest rated products of all time on Amazon.
Okay, that's
so
a
I
weird...
bought like 3 skincare products from there.
What were they?
That I really enjoyed.
Can you talk about them?
One was called Health and Beauty Aztec Secret Indian Healing Clay.
I use that stuff. That's the best stuff.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, it's the best stuff. It really works.
What does it? Really?
It does.
What's in it, Travis? Do you know?
It looks like ash or something, and you put vinegar in it, and it really hurts, and then it makes your face really red.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
But it really works.
That's why it has such a high rating.
Okay,
it does work.
So what's your other? What else did you get?
The other one is hemp with a Z at the end, and I trust any product that ends with a Z.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Does it get you high?
You apply it to your face.
It's made from weed.
I think it's probably made from hemp, right? Made from hemp.
Yeah, I guess hemp.
I don't think you can get high off of hemp.
Well,
all
if you eat enough of the lotion,
I guess
it kind of works.
What's the third product?
The third one is called Metaline Remedy Skin Repair Cream.
I've never heard of this.
Why did you, Travis? I'm curious. Why did you decide to get these products?
Well, that one looked interesting because I think it's meant for burn victims.
Okay, but
Travis, are you a burn victim?
Are you? I mean, like, I'm not, and not to make a joke. Are you Are you a burn victim?
No, I'm just saying that
if it's good, if it works for a burn victim, it'll work for me.
But Travis, what I want to know is, I want to get a little bit more under the surface here. What triggered your interest in getting skincare products?
Well, just reaching kind of an age where, you know, you start to become a little self-conscious, I suppose. And
True.
I found the Primazon, and you just kind of go through there, and it's just the highest rated stuff on Amazon, so you could kind of, you know, you just hit that Prime Now button. And
okay, are you sure this is not a Primazon ad, Travis? Can you tell me if you are getting any kind of kickback, affiliate dollars for this Primazon placement?
No.
Okay,
If I was, I would definitely have mentioned it on my last call.
Okay.
True.
That's a good point.
Now we know we can trust Travis.
So do you use this stuff every day?
Unless you just think this is some kind of long con.
Yeah,
where,
it could be.
You know, I waited till the second.
You know what? If you do that, respect.
No, it could be. Could be. This could be a whole thing where you're like, you look at how many bucks I've created for Primazon with this like long-term con on the Tomorrow podcast. So let me ask you this: like, how often do you? Travis.
Sorry, I just wanted to invite everybody to go to Primazon.
Oh my God.
If it's good enough for burn victims, it's good enough for you.
Okay.
So
Travis,
are you using this every day?
Travis, that's great. Thank you very much. Always enjoy always enjoy what you've got to bring to the conversation, even if it's an affiliate link for Primazon.
Are you using this every day, Travis?
Putting code Travis if you go to Primazon for a special discount.
No, The Indian healing clay, Aztec Indian healing clay, I'm confused by that one because it's kind of like two continents, right? They're Aztecs or Indians, which one? But
well, I think that's...
I only use it maybe once every, I don't know, maybe every month. It's kind of, how often do you use it?
So I do it once a week because I do this thing called where you blackheads, you're not supposed to pop them or anything. They're actually sebaceous filaments under the skin, which is just sort of an oxidized thing. And to get rid of it, you do a BHA AHA peel. Then you do the Aztec clay mask with vinegar, and then wash all of that off, and you do oil, and you leave the oil on for like 15 minutes, and then you massage, and you'll see all the little black things come out of your face. And I do that about once a week-ish, depending. And honestly, my nose has always been covered in little black dots that I've been really self-conscious about. And it helps. It doesn't get rid of them completely, but it helps.
That's great stuff. Travis, thank you so much for calling in. So I want to quickly talk about the show. So we're talking, just to catch everybody up, if you joined midstream, and I don't know why you would have, but we're talking about Korean skincare and aging and sort of like the inevitability of death. But so the concept for these new shows, and I just want to talk a little bit more about this, is to hear from you guys on these topics and to kind of talk about my experience and Ryan's experience with some of these things. But also, like, I want to talk about at some point, and we're not going to do it right this second, but what we're going to do for the next one. Because one of the things we did not do that well in the first episode was spend time having some conversation about ideas for the next experience. And I've got some ideas of things that I want to do, and I know that, Ryan, you've got some things on your list. But that's just something to think about as you're potentially calling in.
Yeah, call in.
But I think that like one of the things I've discovered is, it's funny you mentioned body dysmorphia before, because I do feel like I have a kind of bad opinion of, I don't know, everybody thinks they look terrible, right?
I think if you don't think that, then people don't like you anyway. Like,
I don't know what it's like to look in the mirror and go like, you are fucking hot. Like, I can't imagine.
This is all working.
I can't imagine the idea of looking in the mirror and just going like, wow, you're so fucking hot. Like,
because I think no matter what you are, you kind of feel like you're either average or below average. Like, if you like, even Heidi Klum is like, I know everyone says this is working, but I know I poop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but Heidi Klum must be aware. Her beauty has been validated.
Sure. But I'm like sure there are days where she's like, without the makeup, I'm just a regular girl, even though that's not true.
I think people whose good looks are validated on a regular basis probably feel. I'm not saying they. But
then I think people don't like them because that comes across when you talk.
Maybe
to somebody.
I know Heidi Klum is very lovely. I mean, in my experience, having appeared on Late Night with her. She was very nice. Can we go back and check it out? 2012. I don't actually know what year it was, but she was very nice. But she definitely is like, yeah, I'm pretty good looking. She has bad days. She has off days.
Let's get an expert to weigh in. We've got Brandon from Austin, Texas, here, who works for a dermatologist. Is that right, Brandon?
Okay.
Yeah, on the side, I sure do work at a dermatology office.
What do you mean on the side? Hold on. Brandon, hold on. What do you mean on the side?
Oh, I don't. Oh, as a part-time job?
What do you do on the other time?
Ruins people's skin.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're a mosaic artist?
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
Cool.
Can you send us some links? I'd like to see some of that stuff after this.
Yeah, I sure will.
Okay.
What's the best platform to get you my mosaic?
What's the best way, John?
Twitter, I guess.
Twitter, I guess. Add us.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in YouTube.
At the Outline or at Josh Topolsky.
At Ryan Houlihan and at
Outline
Melania
and
Trump.
Me. No, not at Melania Trump. Don't send it her. But you could also drop it in YouTube comments or Facebook comments or whatever. That would also be good. But yeah, at Outline, at me, at Ryan Houlihan.
So what do you do with the dermatologist office? And do you have any corrections for us?
Yeah, tell us about what you were going to say about that.
Yeah, I've just been educated. The main reason I wanted to work up there was to get educated on like the current technology in skincare. And what I found is that retinol in a prescription strength is the all-purpose best thing you can apply to your skin, but you have to be really careful about skin exposure after you apply it.
Yeah, you can't go out in the sun, right?
It's a vitamin A. You can if you apply sunscreen.
Okay.
It's a vitamin A derivative, and it super accelerates exfoliation and prevents epithelial scales from sticking together, and that helps prevent clogging of the pores. But it has many benefits. That's just one. But retinol, Retin A is what you get from like Walgreens or CVS. It's the brand name. but the drug name is tretinoin.
It's
all the same thing, just different names.
So Retin-A now you can just buy like at a drugstore. You don't need a prescription for it.
No, you do need a prescription. The stuff you can buy on the shelf is not really strong enough to do anything. Like you want to get at least a 0.1%.
So I use that. I use Retin-A, and I've used it
like
for years.
Prescription.
For acne, and then eventually when I was getting.
Do you have the pump or the tube?
I use a tube, and they told me.
Switch over to the pump.
Oh, really?
Sorry, buddy. Switch over to the pump because every time you open the tube, it's exposed to the air and it oxidizes a little bit, and you might notice when you get to the end of your tube, it's a little more yellow than the first time you used it, and the stuff in the pump is never exposed to the oxygen, so it never is diminished in its effectiveness.
Even Retin-A is aging.
I know the irony of the exposure to the elements.
The tube you have to right. Yeah, every time you open the tube, it's exposed to the oxygen, and it literally does. If you just leave the cream out, it turns it yellow, and it diminishes its effectiveness. So switch over to the pump.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
That's great. I mean, this to me is like, if you got a choice between tube or pump, always pump. That's my policy in life.
It's a little harder to find. Some of our customers have to, depending on their insurance, we have to send fax a prescription to a Canadian pharmacy, and it's cheaper for them to order from Canada than it would be to pay out of pocket for non-prescription. The whole insurance.
The American healthcare system, everyone.
You know what?
Exactly.
We got to get to. You know what? I bet Canadians have I bet per capita they have better skin than Americans.
I mean, they're also in less sun exposure, I would think.
They do eat a lot of poutine, so you have to raise this question,
that dairy problem.
Getting back to our earlier caller, that fried food.
Well, thank you for calling in, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, that's great. Those are great tips. Thank you so much.
The other thing I get from my dermatologist, and I'm totally upfront about this, is I do take Propecia because I was beginning to lose my hair and I'm vain.
Is it working?
And it worked like
but it doesn't regrow.
Spell.
It doesn't regrow.
So mine refilled in where it was getting thinner.
Oh, really?
But it didn't move forward.
See, I have like a thin patch up here, and I'm like I have a lot of anxiety about it. And I'm just gonna get fucking plugs. Like I don't even give a shit. They have all sorts of
transplant or plugs.
And when I decide it's bad enough, I'm just gonna be like, do whatever you got to do up here.
But Matt's calling in from LA, and he actually wanted to talk about balding. I just left your town, Matt.
Let's get Matt. Let's get him on right now. What do you know about balding? Talk to us.
Hey, how's it going? Great show so far. I'm a big fan from the 5 minutes I've been streaming on Facebook.
Wow, great. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Oh, thank you. I don't know on what, but we appreciate
for having great skin.
Yeah, for our skincare routine.
Having great skin. Exactly. So, so I am a bald man. I actually know you, Josh, when I used to have hair.
Really?
We were involved in a recording endeavor in Brooklyn, New York, in about 2006, I want to say.
What project was this?
So, sorry to break it to you, but I don't have hair anymore.
Okay, what project was that?
A little band called Pterodactyl.
Oh, yeah. It's great band. Great tracks. I love that record.
No hair on pterodactyls either.
Love that record, too.
Yeah. Pterodactyls did not, I think they had feathers, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Feathers are different than
Everything
hair.
had feathers.
All right, so what's going on with you? You're bald now? What happened?
No feathers, though.
I'm bald now, yeah. I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but I am, yeah.
This is terrible.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah, what's the feeling?
I'm pretty much at peace with it. I've just noticed something recently where, when I meet people I don't know already who ask my age and I tell them I'm 37, they think I'm, screwing with them, I couldn't possibly be that old. And I'm like...
They think you're younger?
Why don't you believe my age? Yeah, they think I'm younger.
Wow.
Do they think that I was born bald and I've never had hair and they just don't think about the fact that I'm bald?
Yeah.
Or do they think I dress really inappropriately for my age?
Well, that's really interesting. I mean, I would imagine you'd say people always think I'm older because you associate.
But there is the power bald thing where when someone goes bald and they own it and they're okay with it, there is an aura about a man who is power bald that, Vin Diesel, you could tell me Vin Diesel's 25 and I'd be like, I could see it.
Interesting. Do you feel like you're a power bald? Is that how you would describe your baldness? Power as like a powerful source of power?
I mean, that is the first time I've heard that term, and it's definitely making me feel more powerful.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean,
Channel Jason Statham.
I think the thing about baldness is like a state of mind. I feel like there are guys who seem bald And then there are bald guys.
I've got a gay George Costanza thing going on, and I would definitely seem
bald. But then there are people who just own it, just own the reality, and they're like, fuck this. Like, I'm just doing my thing. And I think that does create a different perception. Like, in some ways, you're in a better place if you're bald.
Because you're over it.
Yeah, you don't want the fucking halfway. You don't want this thing here.
The Larry David. No.
I've done the Rogaine. I've thought about Propecia.
Yeah.
It's torture, man.
So do you shave at all, or are you just like, is it just all gone?
Sometimes I do, like, I have, like, the horseshoe, you know?
Yeah. But you shave the horseshoe.
And, like, for a long time, I was doing kind of like the sort of windswept comb over and the sort of bald guy mullet and that kind of stuff.
But all of that is tough. And I will tell you, as an expert, a man is much more attractive if he's just whatever he is.
Yeah.
If you're just like, this is what it is, I don't even think about it. It's not even a calculation. But if you look like you're compensating for something, all I can think is like, wow, something must really be wrong.
Yeah, I do think that there's just a...
And maybe that's a lesson for larger and aging. If you just are what you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely I will say there are definitely people who, with the baldness thing, with age, seem to own it in a way that they turn it into a weapon.
Yeah.
You know? Age becomes a weapon that they use against people to...
Like Helen Mirren.
To beat them with. Yeah, I mean, Helen Mirren kind of like...
Oh, Helen Mirren, absolutely. Because she's like, I'm wise and I've got great breasts. Yeah. And you're like, wow, and talented.
I guess she's very talented. But yeah, I mean, I think this is... So you don't... Does baldness like make you uncomfortable? Does it make you feel like... Do you get...
Is there a secret society of bald men you guys give each other eyes?
Wait. I mean, I do want to hear about the secret society, but I also want to... Like, do you feel self-conscious, like, in a room full of people who aren't bald?
I mean, it takes a certain amount of maintenance for me to have it at a length that I feel comfortable with. Like, if it gets too long and, like, the outline gets too accentuated, then I feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah.
But I keep it pretty close to the skin. There's kind of an optimal length. I don't really like the skinhead look, and I don't really like, the full horseshoe. So it's sort of a maintenance question.
That's an interesting.
Otherwise, I don't really think about it that much.
You have an interesting problem. It's like now people are like, "What the fuck's up with this skinhead? What's this guy doing here? Some kind of alt-right?"
Yeah, I will say it depends on what your pattern is. Because if you've got completely bald at the top, don't let stubble come in. But if you got a little up there, you could like stubble it out. It really depends on, I guess, it's like a fingerprint.
Have you had anybody mistake you for a neo-Nazi or an alt-right guy? Has it ever happened?
No, never. I think I just, I'm not that threatening. I don't have a very threatening physique to fit that look, I guess. So
you don't wear like you don't wear like swastikas.
No, I stay away from those. Yeah,
I think you should get plugs, but just in the shape of a swastika right in the back.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then cover it with a kippah, and then really screw people up.
That'd be good.
Just pull the fucking yarmulke off, and there's a swastika.
Well, Matt, do you have any suggestions for us to do next week? We need.
Oh yeah. While we have you,
Any
what should we be doing for the next week?
You can make Josh do anything.
I mean, I could basically do. It's like it could be eat in some way, go to do something. Could be like
live upside down,
engage with somebody in some way, get engaged.
Wow.
Any ideas?
I mean, I just looked on my cell phone and I was like, hey, I know that guy, and he's streaming live. I know nothing about the show.
Yeah.
I loved your conversation from the few minutes I heard.
That's great. Thank you.
I think I'm a fan. I'll tune in whatever you're doing.
All right. Good. I'm gonna want to hear feedback on the next show. But this is great. This is super informative. Like really interesting to think about, because there is this thing like and thank you for the call. And thank you for the great record. Everybody should. I mean, we'll put a link in somewhere.
Go get
this pterodactyl record. It'll sound crazy because it's like music from 2006. But it's interesting to think about all of the ways that you can be fucked up about how you look.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's just so many variables.
Well,
like, you could be super handsome but have bad acne.
Here's the thing.
Or, like, super handsome but be bald. It'd be like,
no matter what you are specifically, there is another extreme that's super hot, and you're like, why don't I have that thing? So it's like, why don't I have a big butt? Why aren't I thin? Why don't I have abs? Why don't I, why am I too muscular?
I will say this. I never feel that way. I'm never like,
I'm never
like, I wish I had. I think if I wish I had anything, it's like, my teeth are fucked up. And like I never got braces.
That's easily fixable.
No, I'm not fucking with that now. I mean, I barely could even get to a dentist. But like I just feel like I could have done a much better job. I mean, they're not bad. Like they're not falling out or anything. They're just crooked.
I feel a huge success if for like a few minutes a day I'm like, I'm proud of what I have going on. I usually don't feel like that.
I think you're a very handsome man.
But I will say the older I get,
great eyebrows.
Oh, thank you.
You know, great smile.
Josh, what are you doing after this?
What are you doing later?
I do think the older I get, the more I do feel comfortable, like being like, I like what I got.
That's what happens. That's how dads happen.
But it's very slow.
That's how dad bod happens. That's it. It's like, fuck it. I mean, look, I'm at like the pool and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I have a gut. Like, what are we going to do? Although I will say this, I've lost like in the last month. And by the way, being sick, unbelievable way to lose weight. You want to lose weight? Get sick. I mean, like, not really sick. I mean, like a cold. I mean,
just go to the hospital and kiss the people.
Yeah, just get like the flu. Don't get the flu. It's very bad. But like in the last month, I've lost like 15 or 16 or 17 pounds or something.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it turns out like if you just
in dead skin.
If you just shedding this outer layer. Thanks, Korean skincare. No, but like yeah, I've just been eating like a normal person, and I'm never super hungry, and I'm never super full. But like I do feel so much better, like, and I also feel so much more in control of like my emotions and myself, and like yeah, for the most part. I mean, I've got days. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But, like, it's crazy, and I do think, like, I've been carrying around a bunch of fucking extra weight for no good reason except that I was, like, too lazy to pay attention to what I was eating.
Well, speaking of things that make you gain weight and lose control of your life, we've got Michael from Orlando here to talk about cannabis-based products.
Okay.
Michael,
tell us about your sponsored content you're about to do for us.
Yeah, so in terms of one of the secrets to anti-aging and wrinkles and things like that, I would say cannabis is an often overlooked method of obtaining that goal.
Really?
From stress and things like that.
Well, it's certainly a stress reliever, but it's also a carcinogen. I mean, if you smoke it, right?
Oh no! If you ingest the edible form, which is known as 11-hydroxy-THC, as opposed to the commonly used 9-hydroxy-THC.
Yes.
It's actually significantly more psychoactive, and when used intermittently, it's been shown to increase cognition. There's several Israeli studies that have shown this, and a lot of people, they're stressed out a lot of times, and at the end of the day, you decide if you want to get stressed out. And you look at people that are miserable, 45, 50 years old, and they just kind of have that like resting bitch face syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
And people that use cannabis, I just noticed that they age gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight aging and wrinkles and things like that. They're going to happen. It's inevitable.
So you're saying it's better to be relaxed.
It's better to be relaxed, yeah, and accept that you're going to age. Obviously, stay out of the sun if you can.
That's true. Sun's a killer.
Absolutely, and when you use these, Retin-A and some of these other resveratrol, there's not a lot of, and a lot of these things are pushed by the pharmaceutical industry here in the United States.
Big pharma,
and I don't necessarily.
Big Dia.
Yeah, exactly, and you got to look at these types of things like their track record, and a lot of these, I don't know if you've used Retin-A, but your skin becomes addicted to it, similar to some other commonly marketed products.
Yeah, well, this is like one of those. This is one of those things that I worry about with all skincare, where it's like, you use it enough, and it's like, now I need this to keep my face moisturized. When your face you think at least, should be able to maintain some balance of moisture. Yeah. But then we are dealing with like pretty harsh. Like if you live and work in New York and you're in the city all day and there's like crazy dust and dirt and whatever, like wind blowing up, like you do have to find some way to balance that out. I don't know if weed will do the job on its own, although I'm very interested in the idea of my skincare routine getting like super fucking high. Like, how do you take care of your skin? I'm like, I get extremely stoned every day.
Well, thank you for your call, Michael. I actually do agree to some extent that when I was working a job that wasn't what I wanted to do, or like a lifestyle that I didn't want, I was working at a media company but not doing what I wanted to do, and I was working a schedule that didn't work for me.
You can say what it was. I
worked at MTV.
You worked at TMZ, and he was.
And it's a failing network for a reason. And so I worked there, and it was tough. And I will say I quit, and 3 months later, everyone said to me, like, you look like a completely different person. Yeah. And I think the level of just stress and forcing yourself into where you're stressed out, so you go to lunch and you eat a bunch of garbage because you want to get a pick-me-up, And I think it's got to be a combination between lifestyle, what you eat, what you use.
Yeah.
Gabby from this actual company.
Yeah, Gabby.
It just called
Gabby
in.
Del Valle.
Yeah.
Is she on the phone?
Yeah, Gabby, can you hear us?
Oh boy, Gabby, what's going on? Nope, not on the phone.
Gabby.
Can you guys hear me yet?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Hi.
Hi, Gabby. How are you?
Hello. So, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So I have a question about skincare. If I have
Okay.
combination skin and
Okay.
not a ton of money to spend on my skin, what the hell do I buy for my
Are you
face? I want it to look like a baby face.
okay? But you, I've seen your face. It's pretty babyish.
I've got some recommendations,
Yeah.
Gabby.
I just
You
want to
have to-
say,
you
like,
have to
I have an unfair
maintain that.
advantage here by saying that, like, I don't know what you could do to make your face look more youthful.
Here's what I got.
I
Here's
feel
what
like
I
it would
got.
be dangerous.
I'm going to plug it again. The Ordinary products.
Okay, don't keep plugging
not-
these
not
fucking.
But if you have
Did you say
combination
Burberry?
skin, are you looking to get rid of acne or for anti-aging or both?
I think I just want my skin to be very soft
Okay.
and also like clear.
Okay, I
It's
would
already
recommend,
clear,
and you don't
but I
have to
would
get
like
it
to
from
be
any
more
particular.
clear.
You don't have to get it from any particular brand, but I would say niacinamide is an ingredient that I really like. And if you have combination skin, an oil, I use this rosehip seed oil, but there's also squalene oil. There's a difference. I don't know what it is. But I would use an oil because an oil on your face will stop your face from producing oil, but also give oil to places that
Is
are
this
dry.
true? I feel like that's just
Yes.
gonna be instant breakout.
Nope.
I'm
It
supposed to put
changed
oil
my
on my
whole
face.
life.
Wait, what's
say?
that, Gabby?
Okay. I'm supposed to put oil on my face.
Are
You
you
put oil
walking?
on your
Are you
face.
like walking on your with like out in public with your phone right
I'm
now?
walking to the L train. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
You put oil on your
I'm
face,
going
but you put it
home.
on last
All right. So
because
what
it will
oil?
lock
What oil
everything
do
in.
you use, Ryan?
Rosehip oil is a little thicker, but you can use less of it. Squalene or squalene oil is really light and it feels really like soft on the skin, but you have to use a whole bunch, so I don't really.
Gabby, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question. You say you get combination skin. Is it like all over combination, or are there certain zones that are one way or the other?
No, there are zones.
Okay.
There
Tell me
are
about your zones.
Like, I would say my cheeks are pretty dry, and
Yep.
my forehead is a little oily,
Yep.
and my nose is a little oily.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
I'm like, I got the oiliest fucking nose. It's
Yeah, I
like,
know.
it's like
I
huge.
changed your car.
It's like huge and oily. Like, why would this? Why would God
We
do
could make
this?
potato chips with my nose.
Please, that's disgusting
Yeah,
and
also,
horrific.
Do you have anything for pore minimizing?
Okay, so I did describe a little earlier on, but
Yeah.
if you have sebaceous filaments, to use a clay mask, BHA, AHA acid, and an oil cleanser.
You
and
do have tiny pores. I'm just looking at you right now. I mean,
you
I
do
don't know what
that.
you've got going on here,
You
but
can actually shrink your pores. You can make them look a little smaller.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what-
would
I
say
think
if
that's what
you
we all
wear
wanna do.
makeup, a silicone-based primer will blur all of that.
this is crazy.
And
I mean, like, I'm
I
looking
can
at me.
recommend
I
that.
look like a regular sweaty human, and I look over at Ryan, and he's like a CGI character.
You gotta trust
In a-
you gotta
in a
trust
good way.
the-
In
you
a
gotta-
good way.
You gotta trust the brands.
It's like Jar Jar Binks, and then Anakin.
I'm sorry for hogging all your time, but I have one more question.
Yes,
Sure.
of course.
Charcoal. Is it all hype, or is it good?
Charcoal, I found
charcoal
doesn't do a
stuff.
ton for me. I think it's hyped, especially it's put in a lot of products. I've found that it's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. But in comparison to like a clay mask, it's the same thing for me. But if you're going to the drugstore, you're going to find a lot of stuff that's like it's got charcoal in it, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you when Diet Pepsi changed from aspartame to another sweetener, it doesn't really make a difference.
Charcoal to me feels very goopy. I feel like that's a
Jar Jar
goop. I
Binks.
feel like that's a goop situation. So
Gwyneth Paltrow or Goopy is in the substance?
no, like goop, like Gwyneth Paltrow. Like that sounds like the kind of shit that Gwyneth
Oh,
Paltrow
okay.
get like really jazzed about.
Charcoal ice cream's pretty cool though to Instagram.
You know what? Let's
Yeah,
not.
they have charcoal ice cream really close to the office.
Oh, they
FYI.
do. What's the place?
Morgenstern's.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay,
We're
great.
plugging a lot of stuff today. Do you have any suggestions to
Yeah,
make
Gabby,
Josh
Gabby,
do something?
what should we do for the next episode? What should we do next week?
You're really putting me on the spot here. I don't know.
You
Okay.
called in.
Yeah, you're the one who called. I mean, he didn't make you do
Are you
this.
unfamiliar with the
You were
show?
going to ask me questions.
No, we did. Okay, we're done. Gabby, this is great. Thank you. Good luck on getting on the L train. I hope it's
Thank
not a swarm of terrible Williamsburg people.
I'm just going to pause for a second, and I wanted to provide evidence that that I might look fine, but you once stood next to someone who does objectively look amazing.
Oh, is that Heidi Klum?
That's you and Heidi Klum.
I look great there. Look how skinny
No,
I
I
am.
meant Jimmy Fallon.
Back in he does.
Kidding.
His skin's incredible. I'll be honest with you get up close to that skin.
NBC 3D prints it every night.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Wow, that's surreal looking. That looks like fucking CGI. That whole scene looks like it was created by an algorithm. Are you punching in on that? That's great.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
It does look really good. I mean, look at that. Keep going. Okay. Punch over to Josh, would you? Let's see
I
the
wonder
Josh.
what Jimmy's using on his skin.
Yeah, that's not no CGI there. Oh God.
Oh.
You can see kind of how bad my teeth are in that shot. You can sort of get an idea. Look how young I was, so full of life.
How old were you there?
I mean, that's like from 5 years ago or something, 6 years ago.
But don't you look at that and think like this guy doesn't even know how good it's gonna get?
No.
Sometimes I look at younger me and I think, yeah, he looks. I mean, it's tight and it's right, and that guy was thin. But I also look at it and think,
I don't think
guy
I'm
doesn't
that
know
much
anything.
thinner. I'm not that much.
No,
thinner.
I meant me. I look at me and think that.
Please stop.
You can tell that we've got new star effects and a new handy cam because they're just finding reasons to use them.
This is good stuff right here.
Thanks, everybody.
Can we go over to Heidi? Can we go over to Heidi? I want to see. Look at that perfection. Those bangs, incredible.
Wonderful.
Hey, remember 2000?
You're either in or you're out. You're out. Heidi's in.
I don't know what that means.
Project Runway.
I assume it's a reference to a show that she's on.
All right.
Okay, I think we got
one more caller. One more caller, and we'll wrap up.
we-
Jeremy from Little Rock has been hanging in there.
Jeremy,
and he
you better
wants to
have an
talk to
idea
us.
for the next show too. Let's hear it.
Jeremy.
We lost him. Jeremy's gone. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I wanted to. I waited tables for 20 years,
Okay.
and I used Gold Bond
All right,
body
Jeremy.
lotion.
All right. Jeremy, I'm sorry. You sound dangerously stoned right now.
Yeah, totally, I am. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your call, Jeremy.
This is either going to go somewhere really bad or really
Poor
good.
Jeremy waited 40 minutes to mumble at us about Gold Bond.
Did he really? I feel bad. Did he wait 40 minutes?
Yep.
No wonder he sounded so tired. I just feel like that was
Well,
a call.
he heard our cannabis recommendation early on. And he said, I better get a jump on it.
Jeremy, let me apologize. Maybe that you were about to say something amazing, but it also felt like you could say something horrible. And I think sometimes you just feel
Listen,
like
it was a little Buffalo Bill.
sometimes you just it was like
It puts the lotion
he was like
on
about,
its skin.
Jeremy's about to be like,
and it calls in
would
again.
you fuck me? I'd fuck me. You know, it's like it was not going to go to a good place. I think.
You a big fat host? Yeah,
Oh,
a little.
God in heaven. All right. Well, I think we should wrap up.
Yeah, let's wrap up.
yeah.
We don't know what we're doing
We don't know
next
what we're
week.
doing next week, and I'll be honest with you guys, you really are not bringing the goods. You know,
Are we doing palm?
I asked
I'm
going to
push for this palm.
I don't know. Can we do something less totally invasive in my life?
But
I need just a piece of my life. I need a piece of my life, not all of it.
Are you going to keep doing the skincare?
You know, that's a great question. I
have a prediction for your answer that I already told people.
On the one hand, is the answer is yes, because I think it kind of made me feel pretty good, and it's nice to pamper yourself.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's like I'm very lazy. And I don't really want to put any extra time into anything if I can help it.
It's like buying a gym membership. You're like, it would be great if I did this.
Oh, listen, I'm about to join Equinox and never ever go. I mean,
I did do that.
I'm moments away from an expensive Equinox commitment that I can't fulfill.
I did do that, and I told the people there, like, if you don't let me cancel, I'm just going to cancel my debit card and I'll disappear into the ether. And they said, will you pay one more month? And I said, yes.
So that's what they want. They got that 1 month out of you. I don't know.
So we don't know what we're going to do. We're not going to do palm?
We'll do it. We're going to do. We'll do a poll. Last week you said we were going to do a poll and we didn't.
We didn't do a poll. We're
going to do a fucky poll this time.
This is like Trump's democracy.
No.
We got to really let people vote.
This is a lot like a Trump regime here.
Really bronze skin.
A swampy environment for the worst of the worst. That's how I describe tomorrow with Joshua Topolsky. All right. I think we got to wrap up. Ryan, any parting thoughts on this, whatever the fuck we've been talking about?
I say do little bits of skincare for 5 minutes a day now and avoid the problems later. That's my conclusion.
That seems like maybe good or bad advice. I don't really know, because this could all be a bunch of bullshit.
But
we don't know for sure. Has there been
a clinical? You know how much
clinical study? Is there a clinical study about this stuff? Like,
a lot of stuff there is.
Do we know if it actually does anything?
Bullshit I do that doesn't have a chance of working. This has a chance of working.
Does it? I don't know. I mean, it's a cream. Certainly is a cream.
You're putting stuff on your face. Your skin felt better. That's worth it for me.
It definitely is an ointment.
All right, so tune in next week. And if Josh looks older and I look younger,
you can definitely rub it. You can definitely rub this all over your face. There's no question about that. And I do think the rubbing is a big part of the effect.
Yes.
Like I'm like going like this on my eyes, and all of a sudden my eyes feel more lively.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm also massaging, getting the cells moving.
Any excuse to rub stuff in. There are cheap options though. I've showed you some cheap options. This eye cream right here from Amazon is like $10.
I'm getting
works for a year.
I'm getting the toxins out, which is a bullshit term. It doesn't mean anything. I'm rubbing out the
putting a jade egg in.
What are the things called? The thetans. Getting the thetans. Working.
Are we going to do Scientology next week?
I don't know. Let's see how I feel.
All right, we're going to vote. If you want Scientology or Prom Pre, you support me.
Yeah, it'd be like Prom Pre Scientology.
Any other votes are against me.
Still have to do Fast and Furious, all 8 Fast and Furious, which everybody's waiting for. Sounds like we're doing the ending music. Well, look, that's our show for this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more tomorrow. And as always, I wish you and your family the very best, though I've just been told that your family's been using an exfoliant, and it's not made from what they think it's made from.